have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
It's time to buckle up for making sense of the madness.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here. And we often talk about artificial intelligence, transhumanism, automation on this channel. But one of the things that we haven't really delved into is how much these AI data centers that are currently being built in mass, these mega centers, really expose the anti-human agenda of the predator class. And let's just talk about a couple baseline facts about these data centers. Number one, they are going to take up such massive amounts of energy that for the first time in my generation's history, they're openly discussing utilizing nuclear energy, building micronuclear centers all around these data centers that will be the size of cities. Let's be honest, these are going to be so big. We're going to show an overlay of Lower Manhattan and the one being built in Kentucky for Meta. So we've been told that nuclear power is dangerous. We stopped building those facilities in large part. And that is an energy that is now going to be utilized not to empower humanity, but empower artificial intelligence, these companies that are working in tandem with the government. Again, it is a techno-fascistic partnership. That's why the CAIO program is there. Okay, the Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer program. That truncates any actual growth in software or hardware via AI because it is automatically audited by the government. And though the only entities that aren't under that audit are the entities that are the intel and defense communities and their subsidiaries, the companies that are already in charge. It's all very dangerous. Now, number one, we've been lectured time and time again about our carbon footprint, about how much energy we use, okay? How much AC we use, how much heat in our homes we use as humans. But that's all out the window now. But it's actually more nefarious than that. Because the heat from these data centers that is being created is also going to take up massive amounts of water. So now we're not just talking about overcharging people for power, trying to limit their use of power, electricity, etc., which is dystopian enough. Now we are talking about one of the essential life forces on the planet for mammals. Period. Full stop. Really, life force on the planet for just about everything, because even, things that are aquatic and do not require drinking water, well, guess what? They live in the water. And I often, again, highlight NASA, Dennis Bushnell in particular. But one of the things that kind of skates by when I talk about Bushnell is, in large part, these lectures are talking about the planet running out of fresh water. Well, one of the only reasons that would actually happen is if you prioritize, AI data centers, machines, automation over human beings. And that is what is exactly happening right now and should alarm everybody, because we're going to pay for it as well. Our power bills are going to go up. Our water bills are going to go up. And then they're going to claim that these resources, of course, are now limited. Can you imagine? I mean, we've already seen in first world countries the cutoff of power, the inability of you to set your own thermostat. Okay? We've seen the introduction of these 15-minute cities in New York right now. We've seen the taxation without any kind of representation, in my opinion, of people that are just driving in certain areas, tolling them. It's not a bridge. The system has become more and more corrupt and more anti-human. And these AI data centers are a huge part of it. And they're all over, they're coming all over the country. I'm going to show you one opening up in Pennsylvania. Okay? Ohio. So we're going to get into it. We got a few videos. We got quite a few stories. We're going to show you these data centers, etc. I need you to thumbs it up, subscribe, share, check out all the documentary films below. Ring that bell for notifications, and please check out the alt accounts. And once again, I cannot do it without you. You guys are my bread and butter. There are no paychecks. I want to keep continually doing this. I want to do this several times a day. I want to bring you news that you're not seeing anywhere else. Can't do it without you. $5, $10, $15, big donors. You do mean the world to me. There are some other links down below if you don't want to do the Buy Me a Coffee. We still do the PayPal. And I want to thank those that have contributed in the past. Let's get into it. Nvidia, that essentially, it's an electronics company. It used to focus on GPUs for gaming and for commercial editing, right? They worked hand in hand with Adobe. I wasn't really a computer gamer. I'm still not really a PC gamer. I barely play on Steam and that sort of thing. But I saw the evolution of these things because with Adobe, at first you see the CUDA course. And this would allow you not only quicker rendering speeds, but your workflow would be quicker. And essentially, these GPUs have been a part of my life now for a decade and a half. I got a bunch of them over there. Those are the commercial GPUs, okay? Hopefully, I'm not going to have to upgrade for some time. I've got quite a few of them. Doesn't seem that way. Crypto comes into the picture, okay? Just around that same time period that I'm getting in with the editing and all that other stuff. And you're mining, especially with Bitcoin and Ethereum, with these cards. So that makes them explode. But now these chips, if you will, have gone beyond commercial use and are the backbone for many of these data centers. Now, you and I, when we access artificial intelligence, we are completely limited. It's a pay-to-play basis. All right? And even paying, you don't know what results you're going to get from AI slop. Believe me. I'm now forced into a plan with Adobe. Shouldn't be ironic. You see how these things integrate and work together. Where I'm now charged more, and I get like 40,000 credits, but it's 1,000 credits for an AI prompt to make me a video that might be complete slop, and often is complete slop. And we're talking about it generates like a 5-second video. You can't do much more than that. On one end, it's amazing. On the other end, you see with people that'll have like full access to this, how they'll be able to refine it and utilize it much better than a guy like myself, right? So while all this is happening and they're cutting off the water supply, making you pay more for that, they're making energy higher, it exposes the anti-human agenda of all of it. It exposes, again, that the predator class is moving away from human beings and towards machines. And as we showed you on the William Shatner episode, the idea that you're going to upload your consciousness and they're going to become us and we're going to become them. No, I'm staying human. So, just how thirsty are the new mega AI data centers? Oh, they're thirsty, all right. I mean, quite thirsty. The New York Times recently reviewed water permit applications for some of these new proposed gigawatt-sized data centers. And the amount of H2O they require is an eye-watering, yes, the pun was intended, was eye-watering, sorry. Current data centers go through about 500,000 gallons of water a day. But the newer, bigger facilities currently in the work will require millions of gallons a day. Millions. Okay? When we talk about the power, well, the one in Cheyenne that they're building right now, just the one data center, again, to emphasize the fact that they are prioritizing machine over man in the takeover right in front of us, more electricity than all Wyoming homes combined. All Wyoming homes combined. Okay? Now, I want to play this quick little news piece right here, so you can hear about the water. And guess what? We're gonna foot the bill for all this. Meanwhile, while they've demonized us and told us, your car is bad. You shouldn't have a gas stove. That's bad. Stop grilling with the coal or the gas. That's bad. You're bad, human being.
President Donald Trump vowed his administration will bolster artificial intelligence development nationwide. Some critics warn all the expected developments may be contributing to a clean energy nightmare. Part of the Trump administration's plan would potentially involve cutting back environmental regulations to rev up construction of AI supercomputers. These powerful computers are housed in large-scale data centers that require a lot of energy.
Most of the energy goes into powering the graphics processing units. They also generate heat, which means we need water to cool those processes down. There is a risk that the data center operators are benefiting disproportionately from those energy investments, but then those costs are being distributed to the local ratepayers, the local consumers in those communities.
Some scientists say there will not be enough renewable energy to power those centers. If local power grids have to make upgrades to account for the strain, that will result in higher electricity bills.
And again, one of the reasons that there's not going to be enough power is because they don't want they want planned obsolescence. They want resource restrictions. Okay? They're not looking to empower the public with either renewable or cheap or even the mythic 0 point energy, right? They're showing you with the nuclear centers that they're going to build, all right, that they're willing to roll out something that for 3 to 4 decades they've totally and completely demonized. And I'm not saying they don't have their issues, but that's the best they're even going to show the public, and we're not going to get access to its benefits. We're going to pay out the arnis for its so-called benefits that are really what? Not empowering humanity, enslaving humanity. So let's continue here. Ohio gets new mega hub, AI data center aligned, and it expands right here. Boy, I butchered that, huh? Align Data Centers announces a significant expansion in Central Ohio with a planned development of its new data center campus inside Conesville Industrial Park. And this is one of the smaller ones, right? And I think, what was this, like 197 acres or something like that? This is one of the teeny tinier ones. All right, but the teeny tinier ones, they're expanding. Here, if you live in these 13 states, you may have a higher electric bill next year. Blame data centers. So, like I said, it's not coming, it's here. And your bills are going to go up while they ride this train of technology. Get into this one. OpenAI's $500 billion Stargate project, everybody's talking about Stargate, targets U.S. AI dominance with mega data centers. Mega data centers. $500 billion in investments from SoftBank, Oracle, and others. And look, Trump's touting all this stuff, as you guys know, and Peter Thiel is very much one of those guys that's behind it. Like, again, without Thiel, does Facebook become Meta? Do they absorb things like Instagram, right? Just like Google absorbed YouTube, right? Meta absorbed Instagram. And they are huge when it comes to narrative management, when it comes to quote unquote influencer or social culture. So I want to show everybody this, and then we're going to go to this clip on the Pennsylvania data center. But this is the new Kentucky data center right there. Richland Parish data center site footprint over Manhattan. You ever been to Manhattan, everybody? Those city blocks right there, they are huge. They're huge. That's huge. That is one data center. So it's not just, Kentucky. It's the East Coast as well. Like we talked about Ohio, kind of towards the Midwest in a smaller center. We talked about Wyoming. Well, here's the $6 billion center in Lancaster.
$11 billion of combined investment in AI data centers planned for York and Lancaster counties, and very little had been known about those plans up till today. Fox 43's James Corrigan. He is live in Lancaster this afternoon, where officials did provide some more details on those plans.
They did, Evan. The project behind me will represent the beginning of a new industrial future in the city of Lancaster, while across the river in York County, a similar future is being planned as AI data centers are becoming new economic drivers in south central Pennsylvania.
There's an AI arms race which the U.S. is winning, and I think they're trying to continue to be winning in that piece. And Lancaster and Pennsylvania is definitely the center point for that.
New details about the $6 billion center point in Lancaster were revealed by Mayor Deneen Sirachi and representatives from AI developer Carissa Technology Parks about the new AI data center planned for the site at 216 Greenfield Road in the city of Lancaster. Carissa Representative Daniel Kelly says the site covered all the bases for what they look for in a data center.
We look for sites that have abundance of power. We look for sites that have a local workforce, close to major cities, good fiber, and this was kind of perfect.
The investment coincides with a separate $5 billion investment for a data center in York County at the York 2 Energy Power Station site in Peach Bottom near Delta. While that project from Calpine Corporation is in the early phases, County Commissioner President Julie Wheeler says the new site will boost not only the economy, but the future of York County industry.
One great thing about our country is we are constantly innovating and developing new technologies, so I think it's exciting. And I think it's exciting that we had a technology company that wants to come and do innovative things here in our community.
While details surrounding that project still have yet to be released, concerns have been voiced over the Lancaster data center about water and electricity uses. Other data centers nationwide have reportedly affected both water and power supplies in communities. But Kelly says water will not be used to cool the center, and that PPL is planning an upgrade to its facilities to power the center.
We are paying for our substation, the two substations on site, Carissa is, and PPL is working on a switchyard to reinforce the grid for the city, which we're obviously helping with that cost, but in terms of us actually adding to the cost, it's very minimal.
Oh, it's very minimal, but see, they are adding to the cost. And the idea that they're not going to affect the water, I think, is crazy town.
Now, Carissa is developing this site for the AI software company CoreWeave. This is the old R.R. Donnelley printing facility, and the demolition of this building, it's going on right now. In 3 weeks, we were told that this building is going to look substantially different. Phase 1 of this project is expected to be complete in the summer of 2027. We don't know much about the York facility's time frame, but we do know that a town hall is expected to be held in Lancaster soon by Mayor Sirachi to answer some of the residents' questions about this brand new facility. Evan?
Oh, I'm sure they're going to be answering a lot of questions. Okay. So the last thing that I wanted to cover here via AI data centers is the hype. And in the William Shatner Avatar episode, right, story file episode, we talked about the overlap between VR, transhumanism, and this space idea. We're going to Mars. Well, here's another piece. It starts out correct, going, this sounds like science fiction, because it totally is. It's not real. Okay? It would only be real if, and maybe this is what they're planning on doing, or maybe they've already done it. I don't know. Maybe we've been lied to about how far away the moon is. Maybe we've been lied to about propulsion technologies, etc. I think there's some convincing evidence. There certainly seems to be something going on the moon that shouldn't be. Okay? Is rocket technology doing that? No. But now they're talking about building data centers on the moon. These private companies, right? So this hype behind Space Force and the next, next big evolution is what? Mining minerals off of asteroids. We've heard all of that. I think a lot of that is overhyped. But at the same time, maybe going on a micro level with technologies that the general public is not privy to. But here, let's listen to this ABC News hype train on AI data centers on the moon.
Sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. Launchpad, spaceports, and data centers on the moon? Well, soon those dreams could become reality. The battle for AI dominance is now forcing companies to think outside the box and outside our atmosphere, racing to get massive computing centers into outer space. Joining me now for more on all of this is Ross Centers, CEO of Ethos Space. Ross, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Gio.
Okay, so let's try to break this all down here. So data centers on Earth, they're actually causing a massive strain on precious resources, of course, electricity, water. So why would data centers on the moon be a better alternative?
Well, the data centers on the moon are a really opportune moment in history because right now we're building ships that can get there, and it's always been an eighth continent that is just hanging in the sky. But what it's for is it has
an eighth continent hanging in the sky. And we're building shit. Again, Artemis was supposed to send people back to the moon last year. Human beings. And once again, if you believe them, they supposedly sent a non-manned mission this past year orbiting the moon, going around it with rockets. I don't know, man. You tell... color me skeptical. Rockets be exploding all over the place. For the last how many years? Very volatile, dangerous technology. Just saying.
Infinite power, infinite cooling, and infinite mineral resources to manufacture these data centers. So what you're seeing here is the first stage of a 1 gigawatt data center on the moon. And those solar panels and those towers, those are all made from lunar resources. These can all be made from the regolith that you find at any landing pad, anywhere you land on the moon. So we can take away the problem of trying to fit all of the energy demands for infinite growth in AI onto Earth, competing with human resources. And we can put that onto the moon, and we can create a new continent where we make our data centers and we have our compute live. And it's going to solve a lot of problems.
What about the fact that the moon controls tides, it helps stabilize seasons, among so many other things here on Earth? Are there any concerns that building that kind of infrastructure there on the moon...
How about, are there any concerns on how you could actually do any of this? Show me all the structures that they've, quote-unquote, built on the moon. And again, there could be stuff going on the dark side of the moon. How would we have access to it? But... look, I mean, telescopes exist, It certainly doesn't seem like any structures have been built in mass there. There certainly hasn't been an admitted human presence on the moon for my entire lifetime. Plus, I mean, come on now. I love how the media. Look at this guy. It's a joke. It's a bad joke. Well, what about the oceans and all these important things the moon does? Will there data centers that we're going to build there affect it? I mean, come on.
Could potentially have unintended environmental consequences for us here on Earth.
None at all. The moon only interacts with the Earth through its gravity, right? So when we transform this regolith into landing pad materials like this hard rock, or we make it into solar panels and data centers, that doesn't change the gravity of it. And even if we launch material off the moon, we're going to be taking such a small percentage that there'll be no difference at all.
What about this major question that, who owns the moon, right? The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 says that no nation can own the moon. So could this lead to a conflict if companies start claiming lunar real estate? I mean, I can imagine quite the legal battle, an interstellar legal battle might happen.
Well, US law is actually very clear that if you start developing something on the moon, if you make something on the moon, that's yours and you have title to it. And international law agrees. Even the Outer Space Treaty says you can't interfere with what other people are doing. We have 55 nations signed up to the Artemis Accords, and they all stand for an affirmative vision of property rights, where if you build it, it's yours.
I mean, right there, they're just showing you CGI, the Artemis Accords. I mean, I can only roll my eyes so much. Folks, you know the drill here. I need your support now more than ever. Please consider donating to the broadcast. Again, there are no paychecks. I wish there were. It's a lot easier when I have guests that are booked and I'm doing, 1 to 3 hours of quote-unquote talk radio or television or internet TV for somebody else. I hate calling it podcasting. I do want to thank those that have been supporting Chris and others. There are other links down below. You know the drill here. It is not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. We're going to probably have an Epstein episode coming up now that Trump has had to talk about his relationship with Epstein, saying that it ended not from either this quote-unquote bad business deal on property and not because of the alleged Virginia Giuffre Roberts incident, but because he was actually stealing staff from Trump. So we're going to do an AMA broadcast on that, play some Trump stuff. You're not going to want to miss it. I absolutely love you guys, and I will see you all on the flip side.